We're talking about podcasts. We're talking about itty bitty podcast. A podcast.
Very many Monday chunkies.
I didn't think I could
I'm
do it.
Carter.
This one's Doge.
I'm Jordan, but at a regular register.
I'm going to mute myself again
Oh.
and give our chunkies the secret.
Word of the day.
The word of the day. Hello, everyone. The word of the day
is banana.
is not banana. The word of the day is love. Happy Valentine's Day out there. The word of the day is love. If either of these boys say love, we'll go straight into extra credit. And there we go.
To try and read your lips.
Now, hang on. Here's the thing. Something happened a few weeks ago. I said the word of the day while you had your headphones out because we were talking about The Last of Us.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even realize.
That's on me.
Carter fell asleep at his watch and let the bandits into the castle.
Wow. You're supposed
I
to be
gave y'all the
vigilant.
option of coming up with something for if I miss it. We've got some chunkies out there with those big listening ears on,
Yeah.
and they're looking for that go-to word.
So, but did it change anything though? Because he did say it.
No,
Oh, okay.
Carter missed
because
it.
I missed
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I missed it. It only has to be within the window of that episode. Guys, before we get too much into movies, I wanted to talk about, because you are such good video game boys, and I know Nintendo Direct came out recently. Is there any interesting things worth talking about here?
Yeah.
Because it does seem like, we're a movie podcast, but boy, do we talk about TV, and these video games show up every now and then. What about Nintendo Direct do you want to share? I read through some of this, and there were some things I hadn't heard of 80% of it.
3 things worth talking about. As with most Nintendo Directs, it's a lot of JRPGs, which are uninteresting to me, so I just sort of glaze over until something interesting happens.
Yeah.
But
the junior point guard, for those of you that don't know anything about video games.
Yeah.
The big 3 are Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games are being added to the Virtual Console on Switch, which is massive for me because I love that
exciting
era of games. Looks like we're going to get Oracle of Seasons and Ages eventually. We're going to get Golden Sun, which is my particular love language.
I always forget that you're the world's biggest Golden Sun fan.
Dude, I mean, those games were
Golden
so
Sun,
fun.
won't you come?
Did you ever play
I
them?
love them
Josh?
too.
No, I didn't.
Dude, you should think about it. When it comes
That
to
might be
Virtual
why
Console.
I'll definitely think about it. I think
It
about
is.
lots of stuff.
Those games are a blast. Particularly, I love Golden Sun 2. I hope that happens. But we've got Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance games coming to Virtual Console. We have finally the long-awaited, rumored release of Metroid Prime Remaster.
It's
That looks
already
pretty cool.
out.
Yeah, it
That
came
was
out-
a
it
same day
launched at
release.
Switch at yeah, we all know what it's called. Let's just say it
Nintendo
together.
Direct.
Thank you.
Happy Switch Day.
Doug Bowser unsubscribed from our podcast.
No, Doug, come back. As long as Reggie subscribes, I don't care. And then the biggest one, a new, pretty dense trailer for Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom, which
we're talking major vehicles in this guy, which has me stoked.
I'm sure you haven't watched yet because I sent it pretty late last night, Doge. But I sent Doge a 30-minute trailer breakdown. Honest, it is 30 minutes of interesting content. Like,
I love that.
it's a 2-minute and 40-second trailer, and this dude, shout out to Zeltic on YouTube. If you like Zelda, he is like the Zelda. He's like Vati Vidya is for Souls games, but for Zelda, he's unbelievable. But man, this trailer, and I have a theory that he didn't say. Can I get it on record so that we can find out if I'm right?
Lay it down on tape for us.
There's been a long theory that there is time travel involved and that there's 2 versions of Link. I think that's pretty obvious. There's a long-haired, almost caveman-looking version of Link, and then there's the regular version of Link. And
I think that's Lonk, the long-haired caveman.
Lonk. And I think that when you are Lonk back in time and perhaps prehistoric or at least pre-settled Hyrule,
Pangea Hyrule.
I think the reason that all of the little enemies in some of the parts of the trailer have like weapons coming out of the top of their head is because those are their bones and horns, and that's the weapons. Because there's not just going to be swords laying around everywhere in the past.
Yeah.
So since you have to pick up a bunch of weapons in Breath of the Wild because the durability system means they break, I think in Tears of the Kingdom, instead of finding swords and axes laying around, it'll be the horns of these enemies, and you can like attach them to stuff.
I love that.
How fun is that?
I want to ask you a question, Jordan, because I think we as a podcast are stoked about Tears of the Kingdom.
Yes.
And the general vibe is like, hey, whatever you guys did in Breath of the Wild, just more, please. That was good. More, please. Is there something from Breath of the Wild that you hope doesn't return in Tears of the Kingdom?
Not whole cloth. No. I think that.
There you go.
Well, there you go. Interesting question. Good podcasting, guys.
I'd love to see iterations on things, which it looks like we're getting. It looks like we're getting almost everything from Breath of the Wild back and then some, which is how I wanted it. Yeah. I would maybe like to see weapon durability revisited, potentially extended, or have the option for maybe if you really like a weapon, there's something you can do to it to where it either never breaks or it's keepable in some way. Like if
like a repairable weapon.
I don't know that I want to repair weapons. I think that sounds tedious. But maybe part of the power that you get in the game is to make other weapons regenerate, sort of like the Master Sword.
Like the Master Sword. Yeah.
And I would also love to see an end game option. Like maybe you have to beat the final boss first, but an end game option to make the Master Sword never break would be awesome.
Yeah.
Just one weapon, the iconic Zelda weapon, just one weapon that never breaks and always stays strong. Just because, but at a certain point, the only reason you have anything else other than the Master Sword is to switch to when the Master Sword breaks.
To give the Master Sword a break, yeah.
Yeah. And
totally.
So I would love to see maybe that. But man, I'm telling you, the outfits, the world, the music, the story hints that are sprinkled through, the way things look, I haven't had this much faith in a new release game in a long time. I was even more skeptical of Elden Ring before it came out.
And you hated that, so.
I hated that game. But no, it's the best.
Breath of the Wild is your favorite of all time, right?
I think so. Yeah, I think it's my number one.
Cool.
And so this has me genuinely I'm looking forward to this more than any movie, TV show, anything this year. It's my number one most anticipated release of this year.
Do you think with the amount of content that we get, I don't know, we call it in the arts. So like video games, in this kind of storytelling stuff, TVs, movies, with so much content, do you think we're becoming more cynical, just as skeptical in general?
I don't know if I could say we are. I certainly am.
Well, I wonder if overall, because the Chunkies, we've got quite a few people over there on our Discord channel, and the just innately optimistic seems to be rarer and rarer, and I think that's fine. I think it's just because behind the scenes things can get churned out so quickly. And again, the new Breath of the Wild game is not a quick release, so that doesn't really apply here. No. But it feels like things can be churned out so quickly that we can't guarantee quality on things sometimes, right? Or we get surprised by something that didn't take very long. We'll talk about Valentine's Day tomorrow, and that took 53 days, and you can tell.
Yes.
But it's just here's all this content I love, and this will transition. Jordan, I'll let you talk, but then this will transition into us talking about Last of Us, which is
my favorite game of all time.
Yeah, we've experienced in one platform, and then it came in another. And we always, I think as it comes up, we get excited. We see who's attached to those things.
Sure.
But then we're not totally sure. It still could let us down.
So I think the shift that I feel in that is that I've always been into nerd stuff, I guess you could call it. Video games and the kind of more genre, superhero stuff, genre fiction, science fiction, that's always been sort of the thing that draws me in the most. And I think it feels like we we don't have to get behind every single one of those kind of things anymore because there's so many of them. Like I think
you're not betraying your nerddom if you don't
right.
Like one.
The abundance of that that style of entertainment means that I can choose my champion a little bit more, and I don't have to just blindly be like, well, I like sci-fi, so I guess After Earth was good. You know?
Yeah, totally. I think for me, what I'm noticing as a trend in myself is I don't know that it's a growing cynicism so much as it is as more stuff comes out that I'm interested in, my tastes have become more discerning. I feel like I've been saying a lot recently, like I don't have time for 7s anymore. Yeah. Like there's way too many 8s and above.
You keep saying that to Callie when she asks you what you think of her outfits and stuff. And I think that's really mean. I can't believe you would do that, but I guess, dude, I don't know. That's really mean.
I'm sorry, but I just don't think that all the
no time for 7s
are necessary.
Sorry about it.
But I think that and I don't mean 7s on the IMDb scale. I mean 7s on the Jordan scale. Those are different things because there are worlds where movies that are total 6s are an 8 for me for whatever reason. Watchability, funny, whatever. But I just mean like I am more willing at this point in my life than I have ever been to bail out on something no matter how far I am into it. Like there is no more sunk cost fallacy with me for TV, movies, video games, books, like if I'm not grabbed, I'll just bail. Yeah. And it's annoying to the people that really want me to be watching or consuming something alongside them, but it's great for me to bounce to the next thing and say bye-bye to something that was just okay.
Like Andor. I think Andor's a great example of like, I've heard that's good. And I know our poor Discord is so tired of us not having watched that. But the thing is that I'm just not going to. I don't know that I'm even going to be a Mando season 3 boy. I might just kind of wait and see how that ends up turning out.
Sure. I think I'll probably end up watching Andor. I think it's inevitable. I've just heard from people in our Discord, other podcasts I listen to. Like I've heard enough people whose taste I respect. Because the people on our Discord give really good recommendations and tend to have pretty great taste. And I always take seriously the things recommended there. And I've just heard enough people say it that I think it's inevitable that I'll watch it at some point, but it will not supersede the things that I'm already interested in.
Andor is at the end of my list. I think,
I'll watch Andor when I run out of the things I'm really watching, you know?
Yeah.
It's interesting that we bring up Andor because it does feel like there were teams early on, and especially in like science fiction, entertainment, consumables. It was like Trekkies or you've got someone you root for. I'm so fascinated with like relationship dynamic. It has a lot to do with the kind of things that I teach. And so I'm also a big sports fan. So it's really easy for me to I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan. No matter what they do, whether it's good or bad, I'm a fan of the Eagles. That's just my sports team. I don't jump from one person to the other. I've got a few individual athletes that I enjoy. But I think in movies and TVs and storytelling, we have all these different micro teams. It's like I'm a Denis Villeneuve fan. I'm a, Ryan Gosling fan. And I think that's fascinating. And that's why it's kind of why we have these nets with these different sized holes that it's like, I'm just going to filter this through. It also depends on the environment. I'm not in the mood for this right now. Recency bias. I got burned by Boba Fett. Sorry, Star Wars. I'm taking a 5-year hiatus, however long that'll be. Hopefully our Discord doesn't cringe at that. But let's take a quick ad break, and then we've got some fun stuff when we get back.
Beautiful.
Welcome back. So the secret word of the day, I'll reveal it to you, which probably lets you know we're going to play extra credit pretty soon. It was love. And Jordan, you've probably said, I got you talking about Nintendo, and you said love 8 times, maybe. So we'll definitely be playing extra credit today.
Today, though, is the.
Today is, and on the subject of love, today is, this Monday, February 13th, is my wedding anniversary.
Aww.
7 years of marriage.
7 years. 7 years since I had the best shrimp of my entire life.
Oh, dude, those shrimp were good.
Yeah. 7 full years.
We hit 7 this summer too. It's so exciting.
Shout out Papacitos, man. They had some bacon wrapped jalapeno cream cheese.
Is that where that was from?
Yeah, dude.
I could have
I could just go buy those?
Yes. When they present them to you at the table at Papacitos, they're like hanging. This is like a little tree.
Teach them
I
a
think
lesson.
that's how they do it. Yeah. You bad trimp.
Somebody gets all the wrong letters.
Dangle
Had to die.
them by their ankles and spank them and make an example out of them for the other kids. That just sounds like British primary school punishment, doesn't it? Like it sounds like they would dangle a kid by his ankles and paddle his butt.
This shrimp brought to you by Matilda on Netflix streaming. I want us to talk a little bit.
Shrimp-tilda.
Let's talk a little bit about love. I want you to give me who are you, what show or actor, celebrity, somebody that you are in a relationship right now.
Oh, nice.
And it's essentially we are, when it doesn't take 7 years, but when you're in a relationship long enough, you kind of know the ins and outs of this individual.
Yeah.
No one can piss you off more than the person who loves you the most, right? Who for you, or what, essentially, are you married to? Like what in the world of TV and film
I love
is
this.
it like, hey, even if this is bad, we're still together because you've already done so much for me, Can you give an example of that? And then after that, I want to hear about like who's and these I don't want to say these relationships are happening. I'm not going to use a metaphor of like actual relationships because we want to be loyal. But like, who are you? Who's kind of like got your attention a little bit? It's like, are we we need to define the relationship and move forward. It's like, I think I'm interested in dating right now. So I want to have that marriage first and then the date. So,
and then who are we going
right now?
What franchise are we going to kill?
And then kill. Yeah.
I think this is great.
Because we've already had our banishments, right? That already felt like who we're starting to break up with.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But who are you married to right now?
I got two.
Who's that long term?
Can I be polyamorous with my
I wish you would.
here? So obviously,
Polyamorous?
I am wholesale devoted to Jake Gillies.
Yeah. Even if he's
sometimes, he's in.
Sometimes you get a Prince of Persia. Sometimes you get a Source Code.
Yeah. Hey, Source Code is not that bad actually. That's a pretty fun movie. But
it actually is pretty good.
Whatever he does, I'm on board with something about him. I love. We'll talk about it a little more on the Valentine's Day episode, but most of the time, whatever team Taylor is on, I'm on the opposite team. So I'm on Jake's side in the whole debacle. No, I'm just kidding. But no, I just think he's great. I think he's immensely talented. I think that as far as raw potential goes to be great in anything, he's one of the top in my book. I just think that he can be fantastic at anything. But man, sometimes you see a trailer for him just in another dad war movie, and it's like, what's happening? Jake, just be a good actor.
This is a movie for dads to grill to, Jake. What are you doing?
Yeah, be in a movie for young boys to swoon to, not in a movie for dads to grill to. And then also, it's pretty fresh. It's since lockdown at the beginning of COVID, Callie and I just decided to get into competition reality, specifically the CBS brand of competition reality. We got the Survivor, the Big Brother, the Amazing Race. Amazing Race is firmly
the
last
OG
place.
Brand.
Yeah, Amazing Race is firmly last place. It's the least interesting, the least fun, but it's still a good time occasionally. But I'll tell you who's got my eye is Traitors on Peacock. Starting to steal some of my attention away. Maybe the best single season of reality outside of Big Brother 20. It's pretty unbelievable how good this is.
It's real good.
It's really good. I have never wanted to be at a place more.
I just want to follow Alan Cumming everywhere he goes.
Can I be his assistant? I just want to be his assistant on a season of The Traitors.
I want to be Fergus. I just want to refer to him exclusively as Floop.
I'm sure he loves that actually.
I kind of bet he actually does a little bit. Seems like he'd be into it.
I've decided the content, like the world that I'm married to. So I got to go to Universal Studios for the first time. And Harry Potter has been a part of my life since I was 10. So almost 25 years now. And I think I will just go ahead and eat up anything Harry Potter that comes out in TV and film. Like I'm totally down for it. I had not ever considered any kind of new generation console past the Switch, which I know is incredibly outdated, but it tries to. I mean, we talked about Nintendo Direct at the first half of this, but
It's not that
with
outdated
Hogwarts Legacy
for what
being
Nintendo
out,
runs.
with Hogwarts Legacy, that is pulling me more than any God of War has or any
Yeah, sure.
any newness. And so I think
My
a
hot
dream
take on
for me-
Hogwarts Legacy is, for my taste, I don't think I would like it at all.
I don't know that I would
But
either.
I'm also not Harry obsessed, and I think that if it was like a big obsession for me, I'd probably have no choice. Just walking around Hogwarts would be
oh yeah,
pretty unreal.
yeah, it's probably yeah, it's just too big of a deal for me to not. That relationship is far too strong, and I secretly have a hope. It's not a secret. I think I've said it on the podcast. I do think they should. It'll take a while, but they need to do that story over.
Yeah.
And not have the movies. We talked about this on Do You Believe in Magic, one of the first series the three of us did together, that it needs to be a show. I need Amazon or somebody to pick it up and just get ready. Like,
You better
sign
hope
these
that it's
kids.
HBO. They own it anyway.
Yeah, sign these kids up. Find some 11-year-old kids and just like, hey, we're in this for the long haul, because there's way too many characters for people to be like blowing over that stuff.
How do you
think-
decide? How do you decide that like I want that to be a show, but like it would be sacrilegious to remake Peter Jackson's The Lord of the Rings trilogy as a show?
Because those are better. I honestly think it just boils down to those are better.
Well,
Harry
and it's
Potter's not
also-
pulling Oscars.
It's one team. That's the issue I have with the Harry Potter movies. It wasn't just one team outside of the production
right.
company. It changed hands so many times. And I get that there's new dynamics with new years, but I'm out on that. I'll tell you the new relationship I have though. On the plane, again, this is the day after the Super Bowl is technically when this releases. But we're
Congrats
recording
to
on
winners.
Friday. And I'm a big Philadelphia Eagles fan, and they're in the Super
Congrats
Bowl.
to the Eagles, calling it now.
Okay. And
He hated that.
I was kind of in a sports mood and a Philly mood on the plane to Disney, and I decided to watch Creed for the first time. And here was confirmation that Michael B. Jordan is officially, I'm ready to be in a relationship. I
Yes,
think
sir.
I want to have a conversation with this young man. He's got way more layers than his shiny boxer body would show. But Michael B. Jordan is a phenomenal actor, and he is pretty compelling any way that I have ever seen him. I think Killmonger is one of the best Disney or one of the best Marvel villains of all time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And the Creed series is so good. I would highly recommend that. I finally started watching it.
Did you watch the second one?
I'm about 30 minutes into the second one.
Okay.
So those are my relationships.
If we're thinking of marriage, I mean, I think the franchise, the entertainment entity, plural entities that I'm married to is more of a like Hector Elizondo, Shirley MacLaine kind of marriage from Valentine's Day, where it's like just mathematically, probably all the best days are in the past, but it can still be good for however long we've got left. I think
that's a huge bummer of a read on that relationship from that movie. Wow.
I'm saying mathematically, like they're probably not going to go on as fun of a vacation ever again as they did when they were much younger. But it's fun in new ways, right? The future's
okay?
exciting in
Hey,
new ways.
Hey, put the podcast down for a second.
It's because they're old, and
Are you okay?
being old is probably bad. Good thing I'm young and vibrant, so I don't know that.
Wow.
No. So I think
Doing great.
Steven Spielberg is going to be it for me, because
Yeah,
I
for sure.
don't think Steven Spielberg's ever going to top E.T., but I'm going to be excited about everything Spielberg does from now
Sure.
until Spielberg don't Spielberg no more. Same thing with Harrison Ford. Honestly, like Harrison Ford's not done anything awesome since probably Air Force One or The Fugitive. Like it's been nigh on 30 years since we've got a good Harrison. But I think like I will still be excited about and see everything Harrison Ford does because of what Harrison Ford did for me in the past with characters like Indiana Jones and Han Solo.
Yeah.
Like just kind of an undying loyalty. a new relationship in my life that I'm really excited about
Oh.
is Jonathan Majors. I didn't know anything about this boy before I watched Lovecraft Country, which maybe that's on me.
same.
Maybe he was
Same.
doing awesome stuff before Lovecraft Country that I didn't know
Sounds
about.
like we need to see Creed 3.
Sounds like we need to see Creed 3. Sounds like I need to see
If I
Ant-Man.
have to.
It sounds like I need to see Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Sounds like I'm probably going to skip the plane movie that he did with Glenn Howerton, but I'm happy for him. But
sure.
he's great. Like he was not on my radar in the slightest until I watched Lovecraft Country. But I'm excited.
Did you say Glenn Howerton?
Yeah.
Glenn Powell?
Yes. Who's Glenn Howerton? Did I
It's
make
Always
that up?
Sunny in
I
Philadelphia.
got one.
Oh, yeah. You got me.
He's Dennis from It's Always Sunny.
Glenn Powell. Dan Carter, this is a big moment for you.
Wow.
I do just want to be clear that Dose just said a different person's name and wasn't like Glenn Powell.
I don't ever make up names. I do make up names sometime. About 5 years ago, I made up a game. A game is called Extra Credit. We're going to play it right now.
Hang on.
For those of you.
You did tease at the beginning of the episode that we were going to talk about The Last of Us. So can we
Do
get
wanna
it
talk
just
about that now?
Just a quick one sentence guy about The Last of Us, because I think Extra Credit might see us 2 credits because we're slow at that.
Okay. We can talk
It's-
about Last of Us.
It's the best show on TV right now, probably
It's
a top
really
3 show
good.
of the year. And I can't believe that this is the show we're talking. Like, I can't believe that the TV show version of one of my favorite games and stories ever is this good.
Yeah.
I am
blown
loving
away.
it. I'm 100% in. I have been invested in this world since the first game came out 10 years ago. So it's kind of no surprise that I'm loving it. Carter, I want to hear from you about the show.
Yeah, more
Because-
than anything.
Because I'm a Last of Us boy through and through since day one. And I know you're familiar with it, but maybe don't have quite the same affinity to it as I do.
Yeah. This has felt like the first video game adapted into TV or movie that I've seen that doesn't feel, it feels like years from now, there's going to be people that have been into Last of Us for a while and are just finding out that it used to be a video game. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Yeah.
There are no blatant references to the gameplay. It feels like there's blatant references to the story. I understand there's going to be some items or a backpack or what somebody's wearing
Sure.
that's very similar to what we had before, but I mean, that's obvious. But I think it's incredible. You know, I was one of the people that got into Walking Dead when it was new.
Yeah.
Same.
And so any kind of post-apocalyptic, incredibly intense environment to get to know new people, you know, like we get these groups and these interpersonal relationships. And I just think this show is, and from what I'm hearing, the things that so Last of Us is a pretty deep narrative, like already, like the game, right? So we're adding some background to characters maybe we didn't know before. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
there's a couple new characters that were not in the game.
Like Melanie
Sure.
Linsky.
And some of
who-
I couldn't tell you which ones those are. I don't
Cool.
know that. I don't know who is and who isn't. But it feels like this is one big ball of synergy here. Like it feels like this
Yeah.
already existed somehow. So to me, that shows with there having been content already and we're building on that. We've seen that a lot of the times with these long form shows. I mean, almost all of Rings of Power is that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
House of the Dragon, Game of Thrones is that. It's stories that we already know and we're really building on that. The Witcher went a completely different way, but that was also good. It just feels like whoever is making this is doing it very thoughtfully. And that
yeah.
when you can feel that pretty much off the jump, that's pretty good storytelling. I think it's a wonderful, wonderful show. I think Pedro Pascal is
Phenomenal.
about to just rule the world.
Pedro Pascal is
He's-
also a new relationship for me, I guess, that I'm super invested. Like literally anything Pedro does, I'm in.
Well, that's
He was
the one
fantastic
that, like, y'all
on
are
SNL.
engaged. You're already engaged. You've only known them for 2 months. Are you for
Yeah.
real? It's like,
Yeah.
listen, I know true love when I see
When you know, you know. When you know, you Pedro.
It's so good.
Hmm.
It's so good.
When you
And I
Pedro,
gotta tell you-
you Pedro.
Nice.
The fact that there's controversy about episode 3 doesn't surprise me.
Not at all.
But
it's
I
the
think that
lowest
was one
rated
of
episode of the series on IMDb. That's
Wait,
at
is
a
that real?
It's a 7.9 on IMDb, and everything else is like 8.5 or above.
I thought it was so good.
It's
I
their
think
Emmy
that's
episode,
the-
dude.
That's
gonna
the
be
best
what they
episode of the
submit for
series,
Emmys.
easily. Yeah.
It was so wonderful.
It's the least
It was
Last
so
of Us
sad.
like main story heavy, so I can see I think a fair criticism is I want more Joel and Ellie. That's fine to feel that way, but I mean, I just think that it is such a well-made short film.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which, if you've seen Chernobyl, that's Craig Mazin's whole MO. That's what he does.
Yeah.
He'll give you these little side stories, and then it's not until the end you're like, and that's how it ties in. Okay, great.
Yep.
Yeah. Is this? Are there ideas for there to be multiple seasons of Last of Us, or is it a mini series?
There's at least a second season confirmed, but I think the plan is 3 seasons.
Okay. Yeah, I would imagine it would be relatively short.
Well, it looks like they're going to get season 1. If you believe the current buzz, season 1 is all of the first game, and then they're going to split the second game up into 2 seasons.
Yeah, I mean it's 9 episodes, so that's probably more than 9 hours. They've been pretty true to the times that we see. I guess credits will hit at 8 minutes left sometimes.
Yeah. This last episode was short, man. Episode 4 was short. It was super short.
Yeah, 3 was pretty long, hour and 20 or something. But yeah, loving Last of Us.
New episode tonight as we're recording this. We're recording this Friday, February 10th. New episode tonight.
They moved it for the bowl.
For the old
get it out of the way of the bowl.
Let's play extra credit. For those of you that haven't heard about this game, welcome. This is one of my favorite things, one of my good friends' least favorite things, but extra credit is built off of an IMDb algorithm. If you've ever navigated IMDb before to look at a movie or an actor, well, really it's going to be an actor, some individual. It'll show you their top 4 best known for. That's a best known for that's really up to IMDb and not necessarily the just popular vote. But the way that we play this game is that they're going to have 3 actors or actresses that they can pull from a certain movie, or sometimes it's a collection of movies, to try and guess their top 4 credits. So they technically could get a total of 15 points. All they need are 9. So averaging 3 of the 4 credits. If they get all 4 credits for one person, they get the extra credit, meaning 5 points. Today, I'm giving you a smorgasbord. Today, you can choose from tomorrow's movie, Valentine's Day. 3 actors or actresses from Valentine's Day to play extra credit to end our episode.
Cool. Who do you think? Who do we want to
think
start with?
When we hath a will.
We hath a way. I was going to suggest the same thing.
Let's do it then. I like that. Same page.
Les Miserables, obviously.
Yeah, that's a for sure.
You want to lock it in?
Let's lock in
Lock in Les Miserables.
Bing, 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 bing. Number 1.
Yeah. Interstellar, perhaps?
We have attempted to guess Anne Hathaway's top 4
so many times.
So many times, and we've never gotten it.
I think I block out every.
You only ever get 2.
Credit.
Right. I think it's it's like Rachel getting married or something like that is in there.
Oh, that sounds right. Let's do it.
Can we lock in Rachel getting married?
Let's lock it in right now.
Lock it in.
Lock it in.
Bing, bing, bing. Number 3.
Yep.
Hey, is Love and Other Drugs with Jake Gyllenhaal in that?
Oh, I think so. I think Interstellar is not in this.
Okay.
But I think The Dark Knight Rises is.
What?
Right. I think we have that reaction every time. I could be completely making that up, but it does sound like us, right?
It does sound like us. I'm okay with that if we want to do that. Do we want to swing at Love and Other Drugs? Or would we rather swing at Dark Knight Rises first?
How do we feel about A Devi Wears Prada?
Oh, good call. Let's do that.
Metagaming a bit. We usually feel quite good about The Devil Wears Prada.
Do we?
It sounds like us. Do feel good
about that. It's a lot of stuff that sounds like us.
Having the history of extra credit is fun.
What do you think? I'm down. I'll follow your lead. What do you feel energy around?
I think The Devil Wears Prada sounds like a slam dunk, probably. I doubt there's a Princess Diaries, even though there should be.
No, I don't think there is.
Dark Knight Rises would be surprising to me, but I'm willing to follow your gut on that. Love and Other Drugs was my only guess because it's sort of a random, almost indie thing. You don't think that monster?
No, monstrous. I would be totally shocked.
Okay,
I don't think anybody saw that.
Let's go with The Dark Knight Rises then, because we're just going to beat ourselves up until we try that one.
Yeah. Dark Knight Rises.
Dark Knight Rises, lock it in.
Batman 3.
Bing, 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 number 2.
Yikes. Shouldn't be.
I think that movie's called Colossal.
Colossal, that's right.
Mm.
The D Wears P or You think there's no Princess Diaries in her top 4?
I think there's no Princess Diaries in her top 4.
Okay, that's a
because
travesty.
it's incredible, but I think she's done even better work since then.
For sure. But it doesn't matter. It's
IMDb. Applying logic doesn't get us anywhere.
Let's go Devil Wears Prada.
choice.
It's Meryl
Yeah.
Streep.
The devil.
Has to be there. Devil Wears Prada. Lock it in.
I'm locking the devil.
D Wears P. Bong Bong. Number 1, Les Miserables. Number 2, The Dark Knight Rises. Number 3, Rachel Get Married. Number 4, Love and Other.
Oh no.
Got 3 though. A lot of hope there. You got 3.
Oh no.
We could choose from Julia Roberts, Jamie Foxx, Jessica Alba, Kathy Bates, Jessica Biel, Bradley Cooper, Eric Dane, also known as McSteamy, Patrick Dempsey, also known as McDreamy, Hector Elizondo, Jennifer Garner, Topher Grace, Ashton Kutcher, Queen Latifah, Taylor Lautner, George Lopez, Emma Roberts, Taylor Swift, Larry Miller. Handful of choices here. Where do we go next?
As much as I want it to be Lautner, actually, I still kind of want it to be Lautner.
Yeah, I want it to be Lautner.
You want to do Lautner?
Which Twilights is it going to be, though?
I think it could also be that one movie where he's running.
Abduction?
The movie where he's
I think he's running on the poster for Abduction, where
That's what
it
I
is important to note there is no actual abduction.
0 abductions. I forgot we had seen that movie.
Let's do Taylor Lautner.
Let's do Taylor Lautner. Twilight, New Moon, gotta be. Has to
it's
be.
got to be Newman.
Let's lock in Newman.
Lock it in. Twilight, Newman.
Oh boy. Uh-oh.
Bing, 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 bing. Number 4.
Shock by und Lava Girl.
Do you think? I was just wondering.
Gotta
if that's
be.
there. You
Got
think?
to be. Got to
Oh, Doge, I don't know.
be. Let's do Abduction first. Lock in Abduction.
Yeah, let's lock in Abduction.
Bing, 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 bing. Number 2.
Crazy.
2 for 2 on Lautner.
Do
I
you
think
think
Eclipse
What an
for
awesome
sure.
movie
I think
that was.
Eclipse without a doubt.
Do you think that this movie is in there?
Dude, it can't-
Valentine's Day?
He's on screen for the most miserable 3 minutes of my life.
But he was a big 2010 boy.
Yeah.
This was a get. He was a get. It was like we actually got him because they had McDreamy and then needed McWerewolfy.
And they also got
McBella.
Mick that 70s showy. And they
Twice.
They got
Mick that 70s showy A and Mick that 70s showy B.
They got Mick Electro-y and Mick Pretty Woman-y.
Mick Mrs. Justin Timberlake-y.
You think Valentine's Day is in his top 4?
I don't know.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Do we feel good about Eclipse enough to put that
Yeah.
before we make our final
Sure.
call? Okay.
Sure.
Let's lock in
Eclipse.
Eclipse.
Twiliged Equips. Lock it in.
Bing, 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 bing.
Dude, I think his fourth is
you got
probably
6 points already.
Breaking
You got a
Dawn
chance.
Part 1 or 2. But
You don't think there's a Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
I don't.
You don't think there's Run the Tide in here.
Oh my God.
What is Run? Oh.
Hey,
You know exactly what it is.
My guy,
It's in-
we watched it. We
I
have a
have-
whole episode about it.
I only have so much space in my head, and I think I just shove. Do you remember those pencils where every little lead you pulled out and pushed it in the back and it pushed the next one forward?
Yep.
That's how I am with movies.
That's how you are with
sometimes.
podcast episodes.
Yeah, I shove the used up one in the back and then push the new fresh one forward.
Oh man.
Look, if you think Run the Tide If you
I
think
don't.
Run the
No, I
Tide-
don't. It's a horrible movie. He's really bad in it.
I think if there's anybody
have-
who was only in Run the Tide, it still isn't in their top 4.
You have number 2, 3, and 4 right now. You need number 1.
His number 1 is
Just so you-
not Shark Boy and Lava Girl or Run the Tide. It's Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 2.
Okay. Part 2 or part 1?
I would guess Part 2. Which one do people hate?
2.
Okay, then it's probably Part 1.
Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 1. Lock it in.
Lock it in.
Bong Bong. Number 1, Twilight.
He's
Number 2,
barely in that
Abduction.
first one, isn't he?
Number 3, Eclipse. Number 4, New Moon. You have 6 points. You only need to get 3 to win this special extra credit of love.
I mean, it has to be Julia Roberts, I think, but
I was about to say, it feels like the only real choices are Julia Roberts or
Jamie
Jennifer
Foxx.
Garner.
or Jennifer Garner. I think Jamie Foxx or Julia Roberts is where I lean.
Oh, Jamie Foxx would be tough, I think. Django. Ray.
Let's do Julia Roberts.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever played
Julia.
with her before.
I don't think so either.
Roberts.
Gong 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 gong. Pretty Woman.
Julie Woman. Yeah, Pretty Woman. Lock it in.
Julie Woman.
Lock it in.
Bing, bing, bing. Number 1.
Steel Magnolias.
Yep. Lock it in.
And Bong Bong.
Shut up, dude.
You got 2 guesses left to get 2 points to win.
What?
The way that a bong bong on a movie that I'm confident about totally cuts the legs out from under me, and now I can't think of anything Julia Roberts has ever done.
She's
in her
in
whole
Steel
life.
Magnolias, right?
Big time, yeah. Got to be right.
Just making sure I didn't have a stroke.
Do you smell toast?
Yeah, but always. I think Ocean's 11 could be there. I think that My Best Friend's Wedding is probably there.
Let's give Ocean's 11 a shot. I feel good about that. That feels like a.
Okay.
Well, is it? Are we running into the
Oh wait,
Avengers
no, I know
issue?
one for sure. I know one for sure.
Okay.
Notting
Okay.
Hill. Notting Hill is 100%.
Yeah.
In her
All right.
top 4.
Lock it in.
Notting Hill, lock it in.
Bong Bong.
Oh,
Hook.
who cares? Shrek.
Jordan's exasperation.
Shrek. I'm done. Shrek. I don't care anymore. Shrek, lock it in.
Doge can't feel anything. It just goes, Hook. Shrek, lock it in.
Yeah, I'm done.
Lock him in
Bong
for
bong.
Shrek. Lock me in for Hook.
Bong Bong all around the board.
Yeah.
Number 1, Pretty Woman. Number 2, Erin Brockovich. She won an
Yeah.
Academy Award.
Yeah,
Hey,
that
guess
one-
what?
that one's obvious.
We've defo
Number
done
3,
Julia
My
Garner.
Best Friend's Wedding.
Okay.
Number 4, Closer.
We've definitely done Julia Roberts before. Probably when
We
we
definitely
watched
have.
Pretty Woman. Well,
To end today's
Close
episode,
it.
Julia Roberts made
hey, I'm
something
actually
like 12.
I'm not talking on the mic anymore. I've been hurt too bad. I think Jordan, are
Okay.
you out? Are we gonna stay? Are we gonna be done? Okay, Carter, you close it out. We're hurt too bad.
Okay, that's fine. To end today's episode, I'd love to have my name and my favorite thing about my 2 co-hosts. Everybody, I'm Carter. And my favorite thing about my 2 co-hosts is how good of sports they can be. I think a lot of people would say otherwise. But I think they're just the best sports. I think they're good at almost everything. And so you would expect if there was something they weren't good at, that they would still celebrate, at least how good they are at everything else.
Nope. If I'm not good at everything, why be good at anything?
And that's on Syndrome.